deviating from the forbidden thing. On the contrary, the Quran considers that as a ground of love and respect due to mothers. Even if you find, if you look deeply into that, you will find a certain advantage over men. Women are given exemptions from some duties. Some of these exemptions they can do if they choose to do. Like if they want to spend the money at home, they can do. If they want to go to the battlefield, they can go. If they want to attend the congregation prayer in the mosque, they can go. Although they are not obliged to do so. But when they have menstruation or bleeding after childbirth, they cannot pray, they cannot fast. Economic aspects. Islam recognizes the full properties of women before and after marriage. Is assured for women. They are not required to spend a penny from her property. I explained that last time, but when you look at the rights, we are talking about women rights in Islam. You need to differentiate between women rights and to live with your spouse in tranquility and love and harmony. Once the wife start to ask for her rights, and once the husband start to ask for the rights, that's when tranquility and love start to disappear from their life. If you look at like a Muslim culture, and if you read the seerah of the Prophet, because without reading the seerah, you cannot understand how things going. Yes, certainly. These are the rights for women. To be in front of her husband. And there are rights of husbands to be in front of their wives. But they should treat each other beyond their rights. Beyond that. They should treat each other with tranquility and love, and to establish a unity as if they are one person. They are one person. If she cries because of she's sick, he should feel that she's in pain. And he shouldn't go to sleep while she's in pain. He should care about her. And the vice versa. You got a half added to another half and become one. This is a healthy family. Whatever circumstances his wife faced, he should cover for her. And same for the husband and wife. So at the time the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I give you an example. Dowries, the mahr. Some of the companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam offered his wife to teach her a chapter from the Holy Quran because that what he can do. Can we find this concept nowadays? A wife came to the Prophet ﷺ and she said, I have money, and whom, like, who is the first among people I should spend my money on? Give me a list of and put them in order. He said, you start with your husband. How is his situation? How is his financial? She said, no, he's poor and he needs some help. He said, you start with him. He doesn't say you start with your relatives, brothers, sisters, uh, father. Even the feeling, even the feeling. The Prophet ﷺ, he came back from a battlefield, and one of his relatives, she had her husband, her brother, her father. They were fighting and they were martyred. They were killed. So she came to him, asked about her family, and then she asked about her father. And he said, he's a martyr. What about my brother? She said, Alhamdulillah. Inna illah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And she faced this with patience. Her brother, he said, he died in the field, in the battlefield. So she said, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. May Allah reward him in paradise. And then she looked around and she said, I can't find my husband's horse. Where is it? He said, your husband is already killed. He's dead, and he's a martyr. He's among people we missed in the battlefield. She started to scream and to cry. The Prophet ﷺ said, now you know the position of the husband with his wife. These are the healthy family. The healthiest family you can think of is the family of the companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even their feeling was different. And when you look at the stories, you list them many stories about that from the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companion. So going back to the rights, the duties, once the husband start to ask about their rights, once the wife started to ask about her rights, the tranquility, love will start to disappear from the family. So these rights were revealed as a protection. So husband and wife must have all these rights in front of them. but the way they treat each other beyond that: tranquility, love, and mercy. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. Allah says, Allah has placed between you, put between you mawaddah, tranquility, and love, and rahmah, mercy. Even if you dislike your wife, فعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا ويجعل الله فيه خيرا كثيرا. And Rasulullah said, if you dislike some of her behavior, you should think about something that you like of her. Because nobody is perfect in this life. And for a female also, for a wife, you should think about the positive things, the good things that your husband has. But if you look for the shortcoming, for the defect, for the weakness, you will go nowhere. And this life is very short as a number. I'm talking now about something that people may not think of, but I want to bring everything. So here are the rights, but you deal with each other with tranquility and love and mercy. إن كره منها خلقا رضي منها خلقا. Um, the woman is not excluded from the area of social activities. For people who get married, and then once they get married, they disconnect their wife from all the surroundings, all the social activities. And then they got the children. He may die while his children is young. So don't leave your wife as a prey, an easy prey for the community. No. When you educate your kids, when you you teach your kids how to deal with the community around them, it is better to see something wrong happen and you fix it while you are alive. And same for your wife. Be around the community, a healthy community, and try to fix anything that you might think that this is wrong. Because there is no guarantee that you can live to raise your kids. She may raise your kids after you die. And she may pick up a wrong person instead of your place to raise your kids as a husband. And this is the rights of the daughter. Islam didn't say that much about the reward of raising boys, but the reward for raising daughters. Didn't I tell you in the beginning that women, girls, are considered the whole society because they are half of the society and they raise the other half. So listen to the Prophet ﷺ when he said, if someone got two daughters and educate them very well, they will be the shield from the hellfire. And they will be um, the way to get him into paradise. This is an easy way to get into paradise, is to educate your girls. And by the way, this is not for men, but also for mother. This is not for father, but for mother. So make sure that you raise your daughter in a proper way because they are going to care and to raise the society. And Islam criticizes indirectly in a direct statements those who feel dishonor when they receive a baby girl. No, he considered that wrong. Not only that, but he honored them, saying that these are the way to paradise. And with respect to daughters, as I mentioned, whoever support two daughters till they mature, he and I will come to the day of judgment like this. Education is not only the right, but also a responsibility for all males and females. You never see in Islamic tradition that female have different understanding and they cannot achieve this or they cannot achieve that. It is never there. So seeking knowledge is like very important, mandatory for every Muslim, male and female. As a wife, marriage in Islam based on mutual peace, love, and compassion, not just the satisfaction of man's needs. So based on mutual peace, love, tranquility, compassion. It is not based on rights. These rights are there to protect, but you should deal with each other with peace, love, compassion, and tranquility and love. A woman has a right to say if she likes that person or not to get married to. Husband is responsible for maintenance, protection, and overall leadership of the family, qawama, within the framework of consultation and kindness. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ helped in household responsibilities. Subhanallah. This is something also I want to mention, and I hope husbands like watch that and listen to this. In the hadith, it says Rasulullah, he was helping his wife at home in general. It didn't specify. Nowadays, you will see some Muslim families, they raise their kids in a wrong way. Boys are sitting in front of the TV, and girls make a tea for your brother, prepare the dinner for your brother, uh, iron his t-shirt, iron his. What is this? So when she goes to her husband, she will be doing the same thing. This is wrong. Rasulullah, he used to help his wife around the house. What does this mean? She's cooking maybe three dishes. Why don't you make one dish? Why don't you cut the salad? You can do that. Not to go and sit down and have some entertainments, watching television or whatever, and waiting for her to come out of the kitchen and shouting out loud, I'm hungry. When are you coming with the food? My son, he prepare everything at home. We taught him how to cook rice, how to cook meat, how to cook fish. Because if he lived by himself, he will do so. I used to live in Connecticut, and a friend of mine, he got a conflict with his family, with his wife, and he left the home and go and rent a small like studio. And I'm angry. I'm gonna leave my family. I heard about that, so I told them, "Oh, I'm gonna come and visit you." And it was a dinner time. Okay, I will bring everything, and then we see how it goes. So when I went, I have the meat, the rice. I brought everything, and then I was watching, and then I went to the kitchen, try to help him with something, to force him to do something. And he started to cook and do this and this and this and this and this and wash dishes and prepare and after we get the meal, we need the tea. So who's going to make the tea? So he went to the kitchen and he made the tea and oh, that was great. I told him, this is great. So how have you been here? He said, for a couple of weeks. I told him, so you are going to do that every day? He said, oh yeah, but sometimes I go out and I eat and fast food. And what about for your clothes, for your this? I take them to the laundry. I take them. So do you do that at home? Um, so I said, why don't you do that with your wife? Maybe the problem, and I know that the problem between them because of the household issue. So we need to teach our kids, boys and girls, you are equal. You can cook, she can cook. You iron your clothes, she iron her clothes. Everything equal. So in the background of her mind and in the background of boys' minds, that I was raised equal. So when the boy become adults and get married, he will treat his wife nicely. And when the girl become an adult and get married, she will receive these treatments and she will live with somebody, we share. Like we wake up in the morning, we have to prepare our beds and to clean the house and to use this. Why don't you help your wife around the house? Following the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, I command you to be kind to a woman. The best of you are the best for his family, wife. It is generous in character who is good for two women, and it is the wicked who insult them. She is not your servant. She is not a slave under you. Even for sexual satisfaction, she has the right to receive all that is satisfaction. Divorce is seen as the last resort, which is permissible but not encouraged. As a mother, nowhere you find in tradition or civilization that raised the mother to that level, to receive the respect from her family. So someone asked the Prophet ﷺ, um, who is the most person deserve my help, my support, and respect? He said, your mother. He said, and who else? He said, your mother. And else, he said, your mother. And the third time, he said, your father. So, moreover, the Quran has a special recommendation for the good treatments of mother. So that's in the Holy Quran, and that's also in the Sunnah. As I mentioned, the Prophet said, your mother. When a man said, who among the people is most worthy of my good company? And a famous saying of the Prophet saying that paradise is at the feet of mothers, not father. It is of interest to mention that when your mother called you while you are offering your sunnah prayer, if she needs you, you should stop your prayer and answer your mother. This is not for fard. This is the voluntarily prayer. What about if your father? No, you continue your prayer. Only the mother. Political aspects. The right of election and nomination. After the Sayyidina Umar al-Khattab was killed and became a martyr, so he said, you have to spend 3 days at the most, and then the day number 4, you come up with one caliph, and he nominated 5 companions. You stay at the house, don't go outside until you bring. You know what? They went door by door asking male and female for their opinion about Uthman ibn Affan. So they collected all the opinion from people in Medina Rasulullah. And we know that there is a chapter in the Quran by the name of a discussion between a woman and the Prophet ﷺ. And Allah heard her arguments and her discussion at the top of the seven skies. And during the time of Omar, as I mentioned, she stood and she said, "What you said is not right." So the king, the caliph said, "A woman is right and Omar is wrong." Modesty and social interaction. There exists among a Muslim a big gap between the ideal and the real. Cultural practice on both extremes do exist. Did I mention to you that what the Prophet ﷺ corrected 1500 years ago came back? So nowadays, there is some families, they feel ashamed and they don't allow their daughter to have a wedding party, and they ask their husband to come and kidnap her because they don't wanna think about it. Some Islamic culture imitates non-Islamic ones and adopt the mode of dress, unrestricted mixing, and behavior, resulting in corrupting influences on Muslims and um, to put the condition of the family in danger. If you look at Muslim countries nowadays, you will find that out. You will find that the majority of them, they face a great challenge, and they are struggling to keep the family together and to raise their kids. Because of what? Because we look at the West. And some cultures, they have excessive restrictions, and both extremes seem to contradict the normative teaching of Islam and are not consistent with the virtue. So if you go to Muslim countries, you will find loose community and extreme community. Both are not correct because we have to be in between, as um, Sayyidina Ali explained. What does in between mean? There is a route between two mountains. Don't get close to the one to the right or to the left, because rocks may drop down and hurt your face and your head. وكذلك جعلناكم أمة وسطا. What does wasata? Wasata is the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When Islam came to human being, when the message of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came, at that time, two religions exist: Judaism and Christianity. One of them focus on spiritual aspects, and the other one is focused on materialism. Extreme materialism and extreme spirituality is not right. So the Islam came in between. So nowadays you will find people, some of them, they go to extreme spirituality, like some Sufis, and some go to extreme materialism. Both of them are not correct. Because we have to stick on what is in the Quran and authentic Sunnah. This is the reference for us. Do you remember at the beginning of my talk today, I said we need a solid reference. You cannot find a solid reference similar to the Holy Quran and Sunnah. This is a solid reference that it changed completely the condition of people at Arabic Peninsula from non-believer to be a believer, from darkness to live in the light, from killing each other or violence to live in peace, from like killing infants, bury them alive, to put them at the top of their head, from mistreating each other to respect even their slaves at that time, their servant, and they became their master. Wallahi, if you study the seerah, you will find out how that was a great change in that community for a short time. For a short time, 23 years, and they became stars and they spread around the world to convey Islam and to deliver the message of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. While in the West, 1800 years in order to get some legal rights. And they came from the first extreme: woman is not a full human being, they don't possess soul, and they shouldn't worship God, they are at the service of men, to the extreme today that, oh, we don't look at the sex, but we look at the gender, and we can switch them. Switch the female with some hormones to be a male, and switch the male to be a female. Ah, astaghfirullah. Wake up. Equity and equality. The term equity is used instead of the common expression equality, which is sometimes by mistake understood to mean absolute equality. There is no absolute equality in each and every details items of comparison, rather than overall equality. So overall equality, but not absolute equality in each and every details items of comparison. Women, they have a womb. Men, they don't. Women, they have a breast, so they can have breastfeeding for their kids. So we were created different for a reason, in order to complement, not to be opponent to one another. Equality is used here to mean justice and overall equality of the totality of rights and responsibilities of both genders. Again, equality is used here to mean justice, overall equality of the totality of rights and responsibilities of both genders. It does allow for the possibility of variations in specific items within the overall balance and equality. Famous woman in Islam, um, scholars, worshipper, professors, warriors, supporters, um, even for like saying poets, women of eloquence, political insight. And that's the woman in the Holy Quran. Warrior woman. This is one of them, and this is the how many battles she attended. Aqaba, Battle of Uhud, and after that, Radwan and Yamama. Um, I told you that some of them she had 500 students in her class, and in the book of great scholars, one of them, Ibn Hajar, he named 88 great scholars, great male scholars, got their knowledge from a woman scholar. This is one of them, and that's her contribution during her life. You can read this later. And when we talk about famous women of knowledge, the first one is Sayyida Aisha bint Abi Bakr, the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Among her students, Ibn Hajar named 88 great scholars got their knowledge from him. And the list goes on and on and on and on. And by the way, during this time, they have the dark ages in Europe. So these women, they were reading, receiving education, and teaching others, and participate in every aspect in Muslims' life, and going out for the battlefield and have the trade. So they participated, but with their modesty, with their scarf. Ibn Hajar gave short biography about 170 well-known women of the 18th century. So for 1 century, he got 170 well-known women score. The list goes on and on and on. And this is the most important thing I want to mention to you, which is starting from that date, up and up and up and up. This is the highest number of women citation. What does citation means? Women scholars who wrote books as an author, and their names were used as a reference. So this is the highest number, 1449. And then after that, the number was declined until now. Um, so it is really very important to notice that women received the highest status in Islam, and in order to keep this status, you have to follow the footsteps of the Prophet ﷺ and his companion. And you should hold your religion like that. And you shouldn't care about people who blames you for whatever, because you have the reference, which is Quran and Sunnah. Um, Islam increased 235%. For every male convert to Islam, 4 female convert to Islam. The majority of new Muslims are women and more dedicated to the lifestyle of Islam, even more than other women who were born in Muslim countries. Thank you. And now, if you have any comments, if you have anything to share, please come forward. Oh, Sister Layla is here. Sister Layla, please lead the discussion. I want to listen to everybody today. So our topic is about other civilization versus uh, Islamic empire and how Islam brought rights to the woman in comparison to our condition nowadays, our our life nowadays. How much we hold from these rights. Um, any thoughts? I'm done speaking.
Dr. Hassem, I'm ready to speak. I'm searching for how to raise hand, but I can't find the icon. I don't know where it gone, but I'm ready.
Inshallah. Inshallah. Yeah, you can start, Sister Sahar.
Okay, doctor. I'm just changing my place to have a better point for the meeting.
Same here. Sister Layla, are you around? Assalamu alaikum. No, she's not around. Sister Sahar, you can start. Inshallah.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
I want to share with you some of Prophet Muhammad's recommendations for men to respect women. Number one, Islam honored women. Prophet Muhammad advised men in his last speech in Hujjat al-Wada, the last time he did pilgrimage. He said, استوصوا بالنساء خيرا فإنهن عندكم عوان. Treat women well. They are your family and they help you. Women are God's trust with you. He uses the continuous tense to know this is continuous order till the judgment day. And this advice is general advice to every man, whoever, a father, a brother, son, husband. And I want to share another advices of Prophet Muhammad and Quran, which came in different occasions. Prophet Muhammad said, لا يفرق مؤمنا مؤمنا إذا كره منها خلقا رضي منها خلق آخر. This means he advised the husband not to hate his wife due to a certain disadvantage, because she might have good qualities, and if he hates that disadvantage, he might like another advantage. And I saw in real life, sometimes you find a woman that's she treats her husband well. She is a perfect mother, but she can't cook well. He can, and he was very wise man. He hired someone to help her to cook it. Whatever, he find good qualities in her.
How do you reflect the rights of women in Islam um, based on the current status of women nowadays in Islam.
Yes. Number three, Prophet Muhammad advised men to treat women good with mercy. He said, أكمل المؤمنين إيمانا أحسنهم خلقا وخياركم أخلاقا خياركم لنسائهم. The most complete believers who has better manners, and the best of you are the best for their wives. This advice came because the woman is weak than the man and needs delicate treatment. So men should meet her with a smile and be patient if she does something wrong and protect her. And another advice that was mentioned in the Holy Quran, وعاشروهن بالمعروف. And live with them. I would translate it in I would say that the whole meaning of this in many points. Save your wife's dignity, never insult her, and treat her well, which includes calling her with the most name she likes. Be nice to her, give her a present, forgive her, ignore her minor mistakes, stuff like that. Live with her, treat her well. This is وعاشروهن بالمعروف. Number 5, Prophet Muhammad said, كلكم راع وكل مسؤول عن رعيته. Each one of you is responsible for his wife and for his family, and the man should take, and vice versa. The woman is responsible too at her home. Number 6, Prophet Muhammad recommended justice between wives. He said, من كانت له امرأتان فمال إلى إحداهن جاء يوم القيامة وشقه مائل. If there is a man, suppose has 2 wives, and he treats one of them better than the other one, and he gives her more money or any extra advantage, he doesn't give this to the other one. He will come at the judgment day with a diagonal path. He wouldn't be straight. He would have a diagonal path because he did this. And Prophet Muhammad used to be fair with his wives in everything. And he used to ask God to forgive him. If he liked if he liked one of them more than others, or if he loved one of them more than others, he said, "Oh God, this is my distribution for what I own. So please forgive me for my distribution for what I don't own." And he means his feelings toward his wife. His distribution between them is fair. The time he spent at each one home, the money he spent, he is fair in everything. But he might have more feelings toward a certain one than others. That's why he is asking for God's forgiveness. Number 7, one day, Prophet Muhammad during his travel, the man who guided the camels and he pulling the camels by a rope, he was singing, and his voice was very beautiful and strong voice that causes the camel and other camels to walk fast. And the women are riding the camels inside a tent called howdah. Over each camel, there is a woman riding it, and the man is pulling the rope of the camel. Okay, When he sing by that beautiful song and strong voice, when he did this, that might cause the women to be discomfortable because the animals make lots of movements and walk very fast. And Prophet Muhammad said to the man, be kind to the bottles and gasha. رفقا بالقوارير يا أنجشة. أنجشة, was his name, that man who guides the camel's name and who was singing. His name is Angash. He said, be kind to the bottles, Angash. And he means treat women as the same as you treat women, bottles. Treat women as the same way as you treat bottles. This example has a deep meaning. It means women is like the bottle.
Let me explain that. So, for a caravan, so they have like a small tent above the camel, and the camel, when they go fast, move this very hard, so it hurt women inside the caravan, inside the this place. So the person was like the person who was leading the camel. He was singing a song that it would speed up the camels. So the Prophet ﷺ said, "Don't do that because you need to um, have them uh, like to enjoy the trip, not to be exhausted, and رفقا بالقوارير." And qawarir in Arabic meaning um, because the woman has a womb and carry babies, so that's where it comes from. Thank you, sister. Go on.
Okay, and this example has a deep meaning. A woman is like a bottle herself. She's nice but can be hurt easily. She gets touched by words. They doesn't forget whoever was cruel to them, or or never forget being insulted. So a man has to treat them kindly. Number 8, Islam gave a woman a share of the inheritance of her father, mother, brother, husband, whoever dies of family. Number 9, nobody can enforce a woman to get married to a certain man. The woman should agree to marriage. So no obligation in marriage. Number 10, Islam equates between women and men. God made the scale of preference for men and women is fearing God and doing good deeds, as Allah mentioned in the Holy Quran. يا أيها الناس بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير صدق الله العظيم. All mankind, indeed, I created you male and female, and I made you nations and tribes to get to know each other. Indeed, the best of you are the best of you are those who fear Allah and do good deeds. Allah is the knowledgeable and expert. Thank you.
Sister Sahar, and we need to listen to Sister Layla. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just, alhamdulillah, this was a good presentation. I was going to just ask you, so do you want the sisters here to speak about what they believe Islam, what they believe are the rights that Islam
what I meant today is to think about the wrong practice of Muslim females and Muslim society, and Muslim community nowadays with reflection upon the rights of women in Islam based on Quran and Sunnah.
Okay, that's what I thought. You don't want to report on what Islam has done. That's what I want to know. Right. So what I want you sisters to do, let me turn my camera on, because I don't want anyone to be confused. We can all write reports in Wikipedia what Islam says women's supposed to be like, but the reality is we're not living up to it. We're not living up and honoring any of the rights that Allah has given us. We're reverting back to, remember, Islam is becoming strange. We're reverting back to how we were before Islam. Women are stripped of their rights. People are stripping the mosque of its rights. So what I want you sisters to talk about, I don't want to hear no book reports. I want you sisters to talk about how it's supposed to be. I want you guys to speak about how we as a nation have deviated away from living and honoring the rights that Allah has given us as women. And I want to start at the top and work our way down, because I want all the sisters, I want you guys to share with me how you see that we as a nation have deviated away from honoring the rights.
Because Sister Layla, people can read all of this back and forth.
This is just a book report. It's nothing. Talk is cheap.
What are we stand in reflection to the solid foundation of human rights?
Right. Do you sisters understand?
And then we got to understand that the older civilization brought us some traces. Mm-hmm. And we still practice that by mistakes.
Right.
I told you, in some Muslim countries, it is a shame for a family to have a wedding party for their daughter.
Yes, look at that.
But for their boy, wow. They do everything and they brag about it. But for their female, it is something like dishonor.
Yeah, we even have women, Muslim women, calling themselves liberated and all this, and feminists and all this crap, when that shows they don't understand their religion, because there's no need for feminism when Allah already made you a feminist. Allah has given us rights. So I want to hear from you sisters.
And also how you raise your kids.
Yes. I don't want to hear no book reports. Let's start at the top. Sister Awa, let's hit it. And the mic drops. Sister Anissa, start them off, please. No book reports.
Well, I'm just going to come out from what I have experienced in the world, because this is what I think, versus our sisters back in the day versus what our sisters have to go through today. Today, in a Muslim family, a marriage starts off with the woman giving the husband or the ex-husband to be a dowry. And that dowry in today's time, to me, should be enough to carry that sister in case her husband dies, because Allah could take his life 2 years or 1 day after they marry. That woman needs to have some type of support. And I'm saying this from experience from sisters that I have met and talked to. Two in particular. One sister came from a different country here, and they had the Islamic environment for marriage. Her husband came over and he drove a taxi for his lifetime. There was an accident, he was killed. She has 6 children, and she had no way of taking care of those children. She had no job, none of that. The second woman, she also came over without a marriage license from her country. And in her situation, she had children and she was babysitting. And that the money that she was getting from her babysitting carried her through after her husband also died. It's just so sad that those 2 women, this is real. And she raised her children. The boy got 18 and she had bought a brand new car, babysitted. She made good money, very good money. Here again, that money that she was making, she had nothing going into any type of savings program to take care of her if something would have happened to her. The children didn't have burial insurance. She had burial insurance. The other two examples, also the husband didn't have any burial insurance, and they didn't work for companies like here in America, so therefore they were just, the wives were just out, completely out of luck. This child got 18 years old, and the woman loaned him her car. He wrecks her car. She gets stuck now with a $500 bill and no way to actually pay all of that because she's got to pay the insurance and no car. I mean, it's just sad that these are Islamic sisters who weren't properly taken care of by their husbands because they didn't set up the dowry correctly. Alhamdulillah.
Or
so here,
yeah, or the big problem, like the sister here is typing on Facebook. Exactly, the dowry is for the woman, but unfortunately, the dowry is going to the father, to the brothers, to the uncles, and this is how we deviated.
That's a big mistake.
Yes,
That's a big mistake.
and that's not how Islam goes. You know, the dowry is for the woman to keep, and that's the purpose of it in case the marriage doesn't work out or something. But instead of you giving the money to the girl, the woman, it's going to the father. It's like we're back to selling our daughters.
Yes.
Okay,
And
good job, Anissa. Go ahead.
And then
Thank you, Sister Anissa. That's a good point.
MashaAllah. And then
MashaAllah.
continue. We have here convert U.S. wives who have married convert husbands, and they have taken more than one wife. Here again, the husbands don't have any insurance. They are barely working to even cover one wife, but yet they've got to look at the other two or three that they have. These wives are not getting protection. They're not getting their maintenance, and they definitely don't have the leadership of their husbands. All because a man's mind was stuck on whatever he wanted to do with a woman, putting her in a situation that here the mentality here in this United States is that the woman is the one that caused the fault because she's the one that sinned against God or sinned against the Creator when she ate that apple. So they got that stupid concept in their minds, and they're going on that concept, and they're treating women terribly so because they're saying the woman is below her. That puts the woman in a situation where she's got to get out, get a job, take care of herself, and she's almost just being independent as a wife. That is so sad because that's happening all over the United States. And then the man just go out and pick up little bits and pieces of jobs here and there, and if something would happen to them, the woman is still not supported. I suggest that woman get the heck out of that Dodge. Don't even try to stay there because you're already being a man and a woman. Subhanallah.
Okay, so this is an example as to, again, how it's important. When we convert to this religion, we have to learn it. Ignorance is bliss. You know, there's rights.
To work all these rights in front
right.
of men and women.
You have to, before you get married, you need to learn what your rights and roles are as a wife.
And they shouldn't get married to somebody and then the first week or the first month, they will say, my rights and your rights. This is wrong. They should live in tranquility and love and mercy, and they shouldn't think about all of this. They should treat each other beyond all of these ones.
Okay, a sister here on Facebook says, Miss Jackson, Assalamu alaikum, Miss Jackson. She's a new convert. She says, related to what Sister Anissa said, nowadays husbands are using the wives' money to provide and maintain the family. He's making the wife work while he sends his money back home. Exactly. That's another thing that's wrong. You know, we sisters, women, we don't work unless we have to. It's not our job to be providers and maintainers. That's the man's job. A woman's money is hers. The Prophet's wives used to work, but they worked from home making leather, and they would hire someone to go to the market to sell for them. The Prophet didn't take their money. That was their extra money that they had. So this is another way we've deviated away from the rights that Allah has given to Muslim women, you know. But again, ignorance is bliss. We have to learn our rights. Good job, Miss Jackson. Okay. Good job, Anissa. Who else would like to contribute? I want you sisters to be able to do just like Anissa and Miss Jackson are doing here.
I want one more thing, Layla. I gotta end it. There's sisters such as, I'm just gonna not call out a name, but we have a sister here on our website who actually lost her husband and she has children. I would like to say that that sister can almost be put as an equal to our mothers who have gone on before us and are now in paradise. Because that sister has to be triumphant, she has to be diligent, she's got to be bold, she's got to be whatever she needs to be to put herself in this world and conquer her spirituality, conquer her social aspects, dealing with the economic aspects, the political aspects, the moral aspects, and most of all, she's raising male children and a child, a young girl. And I pray to Allah that Allah gives her the strength to put her in the books as one of the famous women here on earth for our Islamic history. SubhanAllah.
And what does Islam teach us to do when that happens? That's taken back to the rights that Allah has given us. What does Islam teach us to do if a woman loses her husband and the woman has children? What are some of the rules and suggestions and laws that Allah gives, to deal with that? Whose responsibility is to try to help that sister?
It's the community.
It's the community. And what did the companions do? If a woman was widowed, the companions would try to marry her, and they would try to take on the children. See, this is what I want y'all to see. I want y'all to take whatever is happening in life today, and I want y'all to see that Allah has perfected Islam. There's a solution. There's a what to do has already been told to us by Allah. But because we're not doing it, or because we don't know Allah's laws, we want to say Islam is a failure. No, you're the failure for not knowing your rights. You're the failure for not knowing this religion. Seeking knowledge of this deen is an obligation on all Muslims.
Sister Layla, the one who deprived her husband from getting the second wife, if he's able to, she's going against herself, because her husband may die or she might be divorced, and then she will be looked down and she will be left isolated. So the security for the family and the community is to abide by the rule of Islam.
Exactly.
So you think about, if you allow that, you bring satisfaction to your heart and you feel secure, more secure. If you lost your husband, if you were divorced, there is an opportunity for you.
Yes.
Not one person, but many people from the community. So nowadays they are.
Yeah, because we've deviated away from Islam. We don't understand our religion. We're picking and choosing what parts of Islam to practice and what parts not. This is why we're in the state that we're in. The companions weren't like that. Okay. Who else want to share? Thank you, Anissa. I want to hear everyone else in the Zoom room participate. All of you are women.
I see Sister Elma. Do you want to say something?
And I don't want to hear a book report, Elma. I want you to speak from your heart about the topic here. I don't need another book report or summarizing what Dr. Assem already done taught us. Let's hear it. Go ahead, Elma.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of something right now. I'm trying to think.
Your experience.
Yeah, you're a woman. You should know. You're a Sunnahfollowers woman.
People around you in the neighborhood, in the community. And by the way, what we have talked about today caused a big challenge for Muslim communities. This is a very, very, very critical issue, very sophisticated issue, and people might not think about it when they get married.
Yeah. How have we deviated away in fulfilling the rights and obligations that Allah has imposed upon us as Muslim women? Elma, you smart. You one of my better students. You can think of one. Go ahead.
Well, there's something that came to my mind. I would say that some fathers, they haven't taken on the responsibility of guiding their children, teaching them, and they don't teach them about modesty or the right way to get married. And then when the daughter starts doing haram things and getting into haram relationships, the father says, okay, that's it. You made your decision. You're going to get married now. You don't have a choice anymore. So instead of the father doing his obligations and giving her her rights and teaching her the right way, okay, if you want to get married, you tell me. If you're interested in somebody, you tell me. And then we can start the procedure, the right way to get married. And so the girls become at loss because they're young, they make wrong decisions, they choose the wrong person, and then they have to deal with that for many years to come because their father wasn't giving her her rights and being a good guardian.
Yeah.
And I see this in communities a lot. Young girls that make a mistake, get boyfriends, and then they're in bad marriages after that because their father didn't give them their rights.
Because they raised boys and girls in a different way without being equal. And therefore they are not right husbands or right wives. If I ask one question to everybody here, you have brothers and sisters. Do you think your father and your mother raised you equal?
No.
Or favor boys?
I can answer. My mother favored all my 4 brothers over me. I'm the black sheep of the family.
Why? Because daughters are the gates to paradise, not boys. This is nonsense. So we create this problem on our own. Sister Elma, what do you think about that?
Yes, definitely. I think they put different they give different priorities to the girls. Like they have to do everything right, they have to know everything, and they're lazy with the boys. The boys are, more lazy. And when it comes to the marriage, like I said, they don't give another chance to the girl, but the men, they allow them to do whatever they want. The boys, I mean, So
yeah, let me explain that. So they don't care if their boys go out and commit mistakes like fornication or whatever, but for a girl, oh, this is subhanallah. They are both humans, and you should care about this and about this. So these are the same condition should apply to everybody.
Exactly. Okay. This is another example, reverting back to how it was before Islam, where the sons were preferred and the daughters buried. Same thing. A boy commits a sin, the fornication, we brush it off. The girl does it. Oh, she's done. Throw her out the house, kill her, let her leave her out to her own. So another example, Allah gave us the rules and guidelines, equity amongst our children. Treat them all just and fair, and he even told us there's more reward in raising a Muslim girl, teaching her manners.
And Sister Layla, they forgot that the boy committed that act with another female.
Exactly. See, that's what's even worse. Exactly. Good job, Elman. So anyone else want to contribute? Who else got an example?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes. Being a convert and never married, and then you marry someone that has been in Islam all of their lives, and they come from an Islamic family in an Islamic country, and they marry a woman that never knew anything about, learning about marriage and being a married woman and how to be a good wife and how to be a good person. And they take advantage of that. And they're not doing their duties. What do you do in that case?
Okay, what do you think you do? Hold on.
Fatima, well, myself.
What does Islam teach us to do? This ain't the Q&A.
Not to do. I'm not asking for a Q&A. I'm just trying to say, because I feel they take advantage of the one. I don't have a brother. I don't have a sister.
You already know. You know the answer, Fatima.
To Sister Layla's website, you will learn your rights.
She knows. She knows her rights.
I'm learning. I have the rights, but I'm just trying to understand to deal with that situation.
Teach him the rights that you learned from Sister Layla.
Right, but when you can't
before
communicate,
then you know the answer to that. And if that doesn't work, what do you do, Fatima? You already know.
Get on out of it.
There you go. So there you go. You already know. You one of my sisters here of experience. You know.
I know. I'm just trying to, from this is all right here. What Dr. Assem said. Alhamdulillah, I've been listening, and I'm just trying to, because I have no communication with that individual. So it's very hard for me to bring all of this information to them, knowing that he knows it because he's a person of knowledge and he's been there and he knows, but he's never been married. And this is crazy. So I'm trying to figure it out to talk to him.
Here is the issue. You might have somebody is a talkative person, a good speaker, and a public figure, but he can just talk.
He doesn't say anything. That's the problem.
When it comes to practice, you look at his family back home. How they raised him, and how his father and mother behaves. From that, you understand how he will behave with you.
That's why I don't understand his character right now. Came into America and the way he is. I don't understand it.
Well, Islam teaches us what to do. When you realize that you got a bad apple out the bunch, divorce is good and clean.
I know.
That's why Allah doesn't trap us, and we're not trapped in no situation.
It's not trapped,
when all things,
communication
is, that's what I'm saying. Communication is important. If you married to a person that's just sitting there on the lump, he's supposed to be your iman. You just got to understand it's the man's job to lead you to paradise. If I marry a man and I realize that he can't lead me, I have no need for him.
Right.
So if I don't have no need for you, I ain't gonna try to figure out why. I'm gonna say bye and go find, and Allah will bring me somebody that can. So don't get caught up in that emotion.
When you can't communicate,
then then move to the next level.
Then you have to move on.
Right.
Exactly. But you have to be able to address it and send them what they need to get the heck out. I'm out of it. I'm gonna get out of it. But however, he needs to know everything he's doing is wrong. He knows he's wrong.
But that's Allah. Allah is the one that controls the heart of man. You can't make a Muslim. No. You can't make a believer. You can't make a person understand. Understanding is a gift that comes from Allah, not you or me. Just like I sit here trying to teach y'all and get y'all to open up and understand. I can't make you. I have to realize I did what I could, and the rest is up to that person. Allah, I gotta let it go.
I understand that, Sister Layla, but what I'm trying to get to, what I'm trying to say, I have no communication with him. He's not calling me. I'm stubborn. I'm very stubborn. And I don't kiss nobody's behind.
Then what does Allah say?
I don't worship a man.
If the man ain't calling you, then why are you hanging on? You got to let him go.
I'm not hanging on. I'm trying to find his address so that I can send him them papers. They told me I got to move in on something else on the subject right here. I don't try to be nothing, but I'm trying to find out what was popping whilst I was driving and delivering my oils and stuff. So what's going on up in here?
Did you send me my incense?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. She's selling incense, Dr. Assem.
Okay, I'm gonna stop here.
But no, I understand what you said. But Fatima, me and you gonna talk after this because you ain't got to go through that. It's simple and easy. I'll talk to you later. That's something. Yeah, I understand what you're talking about.
Sorry, Dr. Assem. I just need answers.
She trying to let this dude get this dude. Girl, you ain't got to go through all that. Just send him an email.
I know. They told me I got to submit something. I went to the court, and this is what they told me.
Yeah, well, I can tell you how to get around that. Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, because he's trying.
Dr. Assem, please give me do it. I'm sorry, everybody.
No,
please
stay in here.
That's a good reflection. That's
good. Yeah, that's my girl. Let her. She know what she's doing. Yeah. Wait a minute, Sister Goldie typed this. She said she's on YouTube. She said, "Be careful of international online scrubs. Number one, they want to go to Hollywood to be a star. Number two, they have the high degree and family already has an arrangement for them. So be careful of the international men that's just looking for a ticket here, because nine times out of 10, they got women at home.
I heard in the BBC that some guys, they came from Muslim countries, and they came with a fatwa that you can marry for traveling. It's called traveling marriage. So they came here, and while they stayed for like 4 years or so, they got married, and they got kids. And then after they finished, they left without any word.
Yeah.
And they didn't bring money to their family, never. And even they don't communicate. They don't communicate. They didn't communicate with them. And their kids are around 18, 17, 19 years old now. Subhanallah. Fatwa for traveling. Is this how you spread Islam?
That's terrible.
And you are from a rich family. You are from like a damn rich family, rich country. So you can bring your wife with you, with her kids back home, and you live in luxury because you don't you don't live in poverty. You are like you live in a good situation. So, subhanallah. So this is a wrong practice that we should protect people and girls from. So thank you, Sister Fatima. That's a good.
Yeah, that's my girl. She know what's up. I feel sorry for that dude too. Because when she get him, she gonna get him.
Oh, I had something to say to add on to this.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's important as looking from, the point that I was a convert coming. About Islam, and she starts learning about this beautiful religion and gets specs, and then men throw, different beautiful facts about Islam, and then now she's being introduced to it in conjunction with, other facts or whatnot. And what tends to happen is with this introduction, there's a topic of, as this was laid out front, marriage is half of your deen. It's beautiful. A woman doesn't know. First, she doesn't know lots of her rights, and this is being thrown at her feet. So she gets it. This becomes a basis of marriage. Then you have brothers that come in because she doesn't know her rights or doesn't know the beauty of Islam and what her role is or whatnot. They introduce her to, hey, marriage is half of your deen. So what happens? Marriage is half of your deen. Oh yes, here we have the umbrella of polygamy. Polygamy, that's a right also. It's beautiful in Islam. So then she gets an introduction to that. But then she also gets a little sight of, hey, many times these polygamous relationships and marriages, we have a man who doesn't understand his role as being the forefront and the person that could be the, who not could be, but is the main protector and provider, but not having and understanding that role, have these women introduced and marry these women, and she has a role. So now he's using the system, he's using the amount of children that he has to be a number to count as using the system and using the public system in order to facilitate all the wives that are there. So now here she comes in the picture. She is now being introduced as another number into that marriage role. So she can either have a choice by him who throws all this jargon to her. Oh, marriage is half the religion. Polygamy is acceptable. Throw in a little bit of this, and I call it Islam, into her, into her lap, and she thinks, oh, this is beautiful, and this is what Islam is. So the woman comes into this picture. Oh, this is what Islam is. I'm a new convert. I don't know my rights. This man tells me, hey, polygamy is beautiful. This is what it entails or whatnot. So now I got to go out. I got to get on the system or I got to work. Not only that, whatever I get, I also got to put front to take care of how many other families? So whatever I bring in is not mine anymore. I have to think of the bigger picture, and I have to put forth and also contributing to paying as well as taking care of other kids in this situation. And it's not fair a lot of times, and this is what's introduced to a lot of women in the community. Instead of saying, here, you are beautiful, this is what Allah has, given to you. This is what Islam has provided for you. But what ends up happening is the woman comes in, she's being, showcased out. This is what's shown to her, and this is what it is. And it's unfortunate because we have so many beautiful people who want to come into Islam and know about Islam. But unfortunately, due to a lot of situations and a lot of people, a lot of men who are just like, I like you for you, and because I want you, I'm going to show you this part of Islam. It becomes like a disadvantage for our beautiful, new converts, people who have never been married. They get the wrong side of Islam. And then what ends up happening, a lot of them apostate. They don't want to hear about Islam because they got this really bad picture, bad taste in their mouth of what Islam is. And unfortunately, I've been introduced to a lot of sisters who have gone through these situations. And one more point I just wanted to touch on, the international side of it. We have a lot of sisters who are new converts, they get attached to these men for marriage, and they serve them a platter of, oh, Islam is beautiful, we're going to go ahead, we're going to have this beautiful union, I want to come to the States, alhamdulillah. But they never let the sister that they're marrying know they already have a situation established in foreign seas. They got the wife, they got the kids. But because the female is in this land, she's supposed to be the, filing the papers to get him over here to start that life. So while this sister may feel and think that her husband's coming over here and they're going to start that life, in his mind, he already has that established. I'm going to get my first wife and kids deceitfully over to the U.S., have them established, and leaves the first sister here just dangling, not understanding, hey, this is the situation. And I've seen it happen several times, and it's unfortunate that we have the Muslim men who come here and, out of being deceitful, wanting to establish a life with a sister over here to get what they need to get to establish the life for their previous family, instead of being truthful and incorporating her and introducing her. Hey, we have another family. She might be down with it. She might be down, say, hey, I may have another family coming here, but they won't say that. So they deceitfully come here, get married just on the premise to get their first family out. And what ends up happening? Another situation where there's abuse. And 9 times out of 10, again, that sister apostates. So and there's many different forms and factors that may happen. Unfortunately, that for us sisters, that we don't know our rights, we don't know the situations, but there are dangers that lurk in the background, whether we have a wali, or not, or we're not knowledgeable of the deen, or have people that can really push us to knowing and learning about this beautiful deen and what we can benefit from that. On, first of all, putting Allah in his beautiful deen up front, and practicing off of that and living, because this is our way of life. But really, like when the sister comes in, even, her taking her shahada, even going down the line of her being an experienced sister, for her to even learn more about her deen, and finding somewhere like Sunnah Followers where she can continually learn, about this beautiful deen, so that she can not have to, come upon these these blocks again in her life. So that's just my take on that and my experience and what came forth. I don't want to take it too long, but I just wanted to say that. So
Yeah, my advice, that's wonderful. So thank you for sharing this information. So my advice to girls: don't marry someone who doesn't know the rights and the duties. And my advice to a man, don't marry any girl that she doesn't know the rights and the duties. Because this is a protection for you. Because sometimes if you don't have a wife who knows her rights, you may cross these rights because of what? To get some benefits. And this will lead you to the hellfire later on because you become like dealing with her with unjust and mistreating her and and the like at the day of judgment Allah may forgive everything related to him, but he will never forgive anything related to people unless if people forgive you, and you have to go to the person that you mistreated him or you insulted him or you did something wrong to him, begging for his forgiveness, because Allah would say, go to him. So, subhanallah. So, my advice is that don't get married to somebody who doesn't know the rights. And before getting married, you need to get the one whose deen is perfect. That the Prophet ﷺ said, for a man and for a woman. So, whose deen is perfect, who understand his deen. And the first fard ayn for someone who's getting married is to know the rights. Fard ayn meaning the obligatory knowledge for a man who's getting married or a woman who's getting married is to know the rights and duties. Thank you. So, do we have anybody else to contribute?
I think that's all. Alhamdulillah, this was a good participation from the sisters here. I appreciate you all taking it, putting it onto the topic and not onto book reports. That's the thing, the whole purpose of this class with Dr. Assem, reflections of the Quran. I want you sisters to take the words of Allah, ponder the meaning of them, and then implement them in your life. And also look around you and see how most Muslims, unfortunately, are not implementing this religion correctly. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you can't try to change that. Remember, Allah doesn't change the condition of a people until we take the steps to change the condition of ourselves. Yeah, Dr. Assem, I really enjoyed this presentation. May Allah bless you.
Jazakumullah khairan. And they have contributed and they added more insight to that. So we come to the end of the class. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.